Now, it's hard to open a newspaper or social media feed this week without seeing pictures and stories about Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez's wedding. The 3-day extravaganza of one of the world's richest men has already had to be moved from the centre of Venice because of protests. Mark Niemierko is a luxury wedding planner and has organised events for A-listers such as James Corden and joins us live this morning. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Laura. How are you?
Oh, I'm very well. I'm very intrigued about some of the details of these weddings that you've been organising. How much work would a wedding of the scale of Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez's wedding, how much would it involve?
I think time-wise, because obviously they've been engaged for 2 years. I think they got engaged in May 2023. So I'm intrigued to know when they actually fully started planning. But typically with a very high-end wedding, with a large budget, it is around the kind of 9-month period of like a bit like a baby, in how long it takes to plan, but also it can be less time. You know, I've been given a wedding 3 days before to pull off, but so much detail will be going into it from. The typical things that every normal bride and groom will experience, from seating plans to flowers to everything, cake and so on. But in this, it's obviously on a whole other level in the sense of trying to shut Venice down.
Yeah. So what sort of budget are we looking at here? Millions, surely.
Oh, of course. I don't think it's ever as extreme as the press. I read somewhere like 50 million. I mean, maybe.
50? Did you say 50?
Yeah, that's what I read somewhere on one of the tabloids. And I would say most likely starting at around 2.5, but most likely it's going to be around 5-8 million, I would imagine. And one of the biggest costs of, obviously there can be acts and, named acts and everything. That's a big cost if they are doing that. But then, or unless Katy Perry might be doing them a deal. The other aspect is, of course, it's flights and things like that, which a lot of my high net worth clients want to do. So we kind of call them a leave your wallet at home wedding, rather, in the sense of, as soon as you RSVP, right, you get your flight ticket, you get your chauffeur number of who's going to pick you up, take you to the airport, your hotel's booked for you. So that can come into the hundreds of thousands alone, just on transport. And where if you're going to be doing jets, I read as well somewhere there's about 95 private jets coming into Venice Airport.
Wow.
Yeah.
Here's me just being happy when there's a free bar.
Indeed.
What's the most bizarre request that you've ever had, Mark?
I've had many bizarre requests. I mean, talking of private jets, we've arranged private jet purely for the pet dog, which is, as an animal lover, I kind of love. But yeah, I think one of the most bizarre things we ever did, it actually was a request and then turned into reality, was we had this inquiry from a couple who already were legally married, but they didn't do it big time. And I think he'd come into wealth a year or two later, quite suddenly. And they spent $500,000 with me just purely for the two of them to do a photo shoot. And the most bizarre aspect was we hired flower girl, model children and male models and female models to be bridesmaids and flower girls, which is so bizarre. But anyway, that was one of the most bizarre things we've ever done. But yeah, there's been loads of other things that, from cake rooms to, we recently paid a well-known museum in central London in December last year to remove their Christmas decorations for the 24 hours whilst we were there because the bride didn't like them. And then we put our Christmas decorations in that we liked.
Fascinating.
So, yeah.
Horrifying, all of it thrown in. Thank you so much, Mark Niemierko. We will be avidly looking at what happens for Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez's wedding.